recording in 3, 2, 1.
The Emperor has no clothes, Logan. What is happening? Is the House of Cards collapsing on the Democrat Party? Is the whole party imploding? What? Oh, my God. What do you think, dude? Was that a cool debate or what?
It was crap. I'll give... I don't even know. I'll give Trump some credit. He was nice. He didn't attack Joe as much as I thought he could have.
Yeah, I was so glad, yeah.
But
hung back a little bit, yeah.
I think it was a setup to begin with. I think they wanted. You're telling me a week of prepping in Camp David, and that's what they gave us?
Yeah.
Really?
Or at least they had to know during that prep, you would think, right?
Oh,
like, oh God, this ain't gonna work. Oh God, this is gonna be a train wreck. I mean, the word had to get out.
So either his handlers are that dumb, and thought he was good to go, yeah, or they did it because they thought Trump would maybe like attack him more about all that, and I don't think he did. I found it funny though, during the, he sounded so muffled. You could barely.
Yeah, all raspy and all.
And they were supposed to have these mics turned off, right? So there was one portion where Trump spoke up. I forget what they were talking about, but he was speaking into his mic. He was trying to still talk to his mic even though it was off. But you could still hear Trump because they probably had like Biden's gain so far up so you could actually hear what the guy was mumbling. So I think it was really set him up. I think it was a setup. I think they wanted him to attack Biden to make him look like the bad guy, so they could at least say, well, Biden, it was what it was, but look at this jackass, look at how mean he was.
Yeah, because that was like 4 years ago. I think our producer was saying that 4 years ago. One time, one of those debates, Trump kind of looked that way.
Yeah,
he was coming a little too much.
But I think overall, I don't think it was a good debate. I think everything that came out of Biden's mouth was a lie for the most part. I mean, I was watching a couple different podcasts that were live, fact checking, and yeah, it was.
And
Trump.
The Biden people say the opposite.
Right.
Trump was full of lies.
He most of the time he was defending what Biden was lying about, and yeah, Trump does what he does. He exaggerates. That doesn't mean he's lying. He exaggerates.
I think they both lied, to be honest with you. But
regardless, It's a shit sandwich, and I guess we.
Somebody's got to eat that sandwich. I'm telling you, and it was so entertaining to me, folks. First of all, the debate had its moments of great entertainment, theater, if you will, but the afterplay. Now, I was watching on CNN, and Van Jones and Anderson Cooper, and I mean a whole bunch of them. Peter King. I mean, they were all just kind of. Oh God, this was bad. Van Jones was like, I love Joe Biden. I love him, and I work for him. But oh no, this is and just to see them all of a sudden start to speak truth, like oh wow, so my wife and I looked at each other like, did everybody get the memo? Like get the memo earlier or something? Like what's going on here? These guys don't just speak that freely, and it was just like wow.
Okay, none of those guys are journalists by any means.
No.
They're all scripted. So yes, I think They're not dumb to the fact that this guy he has dementia. They know this. I think, again, they're going to start pushing some kind of crazy little narrative where at some point they're going to train him out. He's going to have a real bad day. And they're going to say, well, we have to. 25th Amendment type thing. Maybe it'll be past the point of no return for the convention where the delegates get to pick somebody. I think that's how they're going to force whoever they want in there, is that they're going to bypass the whole convention type setting, and regardless of I know we talked before about like Ohio, you have to have your guy.
Yeah, I think there's a 40-day countdown. I think that those days have started, so it's only down to 30-something days.
So I think that's their way of cheating or what have you. And really, it's I'm not upset by that, but I think that the Democrats you guys should be upset about that because they're taking away your guys' ability to vote or choose a candidate for your party.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that comes. I just see. The talking heads will sit there and spin it in some fashion where they're going to have sympathy for the guy. Hell, the next day, that night, they were already talking about like, who's the governor up in Michigan, about possibly her name was getting tossed
Gretchen
around.
Whitmer is her name. I tell you, man, I've known a little bit about her, but I swear to you, in the last, I'd say 60 days on the Republican side, you hear more Marco Rubio, like as a VP pick, and the Democrat side, all of a sudden you're seeing Gretchen Whitmer this, Gretchen Whitmer that, and it's almost like something's going on here. I mean, at the very least, Democrats, there seems to be something where the maybe the pro-Palestinian, schism, whatever you want to call it, split in the Democrat Party, I think, has made Michigan some of the Democrats are really worried about now. So maybe that's why her name's coming up. But I think she could be.
I don't know if it was later on that night on CNN or if it was like the next day on like Morning Joe or some kind of morning show where the guy was talking about what potential people could replace Joe, and Whitmer being one. Newsom, I think his name was mentioned. Somebody else I can't recall. But then the guy said Big Mike. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant Michelle Obama. I don't know why I said that. Said that live on TV. I thought.
I gotta find this. Okay.
I thought that was great. If I can find it, I'll throw it up
please,
right now.
Please do.
But it was that made me laugh like hell because that's been an ongoing joke about that thing. But anyways. They're definitely eating their own right now.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Again, I think it's all planned.
I love it, and there's some of that I would love on the Republican side. Just to be clear for people.
I think it's all planned. I think they know exactly what they're doing. This is part. These guys don't control the masses by making stupid little mistakes like this. I think this is a definitely laid out plan. So. Where it ends, I don't know, but I think whatever happens come November 5th, these guys planned this out. This was all by design. So I feel bad. I mean, a lot of people talk shit and say, "Oh, I don't feel bad for." I feel bad for Joe. I don't think the guy's all there. I mean, I think if
we talked about elder abuse last year, and then Dianne Feinstein passed away, and Nancy Pelosi's going to run again. Like, lady, didn't you see your friend Dianne? 2 Californians. You're not going to live forever.
What's Jill thinking right now? Like, you're in a weekend at Bernie's, this motherfucker.
Weekend at Biden's.
Yeah, right. And you're just going to have him running around doing this stuff. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Well, what was it? Was it later that night? She was saying she was trying to be supportive, and you did good, Joe. You did good. You answered all the questions.
And what did Trump do?
Oh God!
Talk about a woman who's trying to hold power.
Wow. Yeah.
She doesn't want to give up them state dinners or something.
Man.
Jesus.
Yeah. She was. She's the American queen at the moment. First lady and. It's probably a gig you don't want to give up, I imagine. I can only imagine.
Just nonsense.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, we've been saying it here, folks. If it happens, it hasn't happened yet, so I don't want to get too far ahead here. Vivek said it. So many people have been saying it all over the internet, that Joe's not going to make it. I also don't think Trump's going to make it. We'll get there in a second. But, I mean, how about some of the quotes? I mean, do you have any favorite quotes of the night? There's a couple good ones.
The one that sticks out to me is when Biden got lost in his thought about Medicare.
Yeah.
It wasn't even about Medicare. It was about something else, and it turned into that. And after he was done, and again, Tapper and them, they definitely dug him out of that one. They stopped him. They
tried to help a few times, but...
And then Trump goes, I don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said at the sentence or what he said. And then, I mean, that was like that whole Hillary be in jail mic drop type moment. It was definitely funny.
So. I thought that was the best one. I really did. There were some other ones that were good, but that was the best one right there. That should be in commercials, man. That was great. I mean, and Joe Biden, his whole, they say about his age, watch me. Well, okay, buddy, you got a big ego and you're out there, you're making a fool of yourself, you get your whole party nervous. I mean, I don't know who he's kidding, and how bad he is up there. I don't know. Are we supposed to feel sorry for him? I want to see a whole bunch of these people who have been there. As we've said this before, decade after decade, both parties. And Joe is, man, he's right up there, better part of 50 years, other than the 4 that, President Trump was in, and Joe was supposed to be teaching some class at UPenn that the Chinese gave money towards. I don't know if Joe was even there, even teaching a class. But anyway, I mean, wow, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was funny when Biden said to Trump, "Hey, you have the morals of an alley cat." I thought that was pretty good. And help me out. Was there a moment my wife had that we had to like it was so fast where Trump actually slipped in Brandon?
He called him Brandon. I thought that was funny.
Oh my God!
I forgot all about that. Yeah, he calls him Brandon.
I love it. I love it. That's been one of the funnest things. Let's go, Brandon! About this whole campaign. Just somebody was swearing and they cleaned it up, and and I like to use it for the mayor of Chicago, by the way, his actual name is Brandon Johnson, I think, and he's something else. He's got this weird faux hawk, and it just came out that he spent like $30,000 last year on makeup. Wait, what? Yes, makeup, hair and makeup. Oh my God, yeah. So anyway, but we'll talk about that, Brandon, another day. Yeah, the Trump had the best quotes, and I thought Trump handled himself pretty well. I mean, what did you think of the format? Surprisingly for me, I thought the format was good. I didn't think I'd like it. I really did.
I didn't have any problems with it. The questions were decent. They held. I mean, there was one time they held Trump held his foot to the fire about. I think it was the January 6th. He kind of went off one side, and then she came back and said, "No, you're gonna." Yeah, my question was about.
Yeah. I appreciate them doing that to both of them.
Other than
bring it back to the original question.
Other than the handful of times of them helping him out, kind of stopping Biden where he was at, or that awkward silence, then moving on to the next one real quick. I think they were surprisingly fair, I guess. I mean,
I was a little surprised. And supposedly they could take a blank sheet of paper and a pen up there, but supposedly they couldn't have any pre-done notes and no earpiece and no, what do you call it? The monitor thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
teleprompters.
Yeah, teleprompter. And the next day he looked better. In Raleigh, North Carolina or something, Biden he had a little more fire to him and get a teleprompter probably earpiece and.
Well, I'm sure whatever doped up drugs they got him, he had better rigor from that. Plus, if he does have dementia, they always say that you're more lucid during the day than you are at night. I mean, shit, we did this at 9:30, 8:30 at night.
Yeah, it got pushed back.
So
it felt like
that
was interesting. What was that about?
Nice
was there any real reason that seemed like it got pushed back, and the other side was like, "Oh, Trump's a coward. He's not even going to show up." I'm like, okay, he just walks out there.
Free publicity. I don't care. Every day after his court case, he was out there, regardless of how bad or good it was.
Right.
I mean, this guy doesn't give a shit. Biden's the one that we should be more concerned about. He's rarely ever around. The 7 days up in Camp David, the prep for this. What was the prepping? What did you guys prep him on?
Somebody forgot that elixir. Whatever that really good elixir was that he used at the State of the Union, which worked very well. I was very surprised that that night, to give Joe any credit. I thought Trump did good on abortion. He said he was okay with the. There's a word for it, but basically the abortion pill, the morning after pill, some people refer to it as. And there's been all this hubbub of the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025. Did you see this? Did you see this? Oh God, this is what Trump's going to do. And there was something critical in there, I think, of the morning after pill. But other than that, Trump handled that really well. He said, people follow your heart. He said what he was against. Rape, incest, and the endangerment of the mother.
The rape incest bothers me. It's such a straw man thing. It's a 0.4%. 0.4% of any abortions are actually caused by that. So when people bring that up, it's just like we're
going to do a whole abortion show. I know we keep talking about it, but eventually we're going to get there with that one. Yeah, and when we do, I'll just tease it a little bit. We're going to rip on both sides, just by the way. We may even get into it a little bit on that one. It was crazy, the way these Democrats have been talking. I'll just talk a little bit about it briefly here, but like, overturn of Roe v. Wade. Well, I guess in 2023 there was a lot of abortions, as many as in I think 2012. It was like record high number. I forget what the number is. It was 1 million or 3 million. It was, which again, you think about that. We're in 2024, folks. This is not 1974. It's not 1964. It's certainly not 1954. There's so many methods of birth control. Please, people, just be responsible.
Well, that's the problem. You said it right there. They're using it as birth control. Like, fucking, where's your morals? I mean, really? Responsible. Anyways, when he brought it up, it was in the state's hands. It got taken out of the state's hands, and he gave it back to the state.
Yeah.
He didn't fucking do anything wrong. I don't know where you people are getting that he's going to make it illegal. He's never said that. It's not going to happen. It's in the States.
Right.
It's like,
and this is part of their lies, that how they want to condition and brainwash people and their crowd, and then they've done very well with it, unfortunately. It's sad. I mean, it is definitely really, really sad. But I thought Trump handled himself pretty well with that. And, people got to understand, with so many issues, we're a big country. I mean, we're a big landmass. I don't know, what are we? Are we 330 million? Are we 341 million? I don't know. It changes every day, maybe by a million here, a million there. But we're a big country, and we're a very diverse country, and not just of ethnic and nationality and racial groups. We are diverse in thought, and people need to remember that. Tom Cruise, just saying. Anyway, I always love to bring up Scientology whenever I get a chance. So, did you see this? And if you didn't, I tell everybody out there to check this one out. Now, I keep bringing up Doug Cass at realmoney.com. He's a money guy. He's not a political guy, but, well, I guess he used to do some political stuff in the old days. He maybe worked for some campaigns. Anyway, there was a thing that Fox News itself actually reported, ladies and gentlemen, that, now again, this is the rumor mill, okay? I'm just, only time will tell if this is real or just rumors, okay? So Doug Cass, he manages a lot of money for Seabreeze Partners out of Florida. I think he's out of Florida. He put something, I don't know if it was on Twitter, X, whatever they want to call it these days, or maybe it was at his realmoney.com blog, that his neighbor, who is some mover and shaker in the Democrat Party, that his neighbor went up to the Hamptons, very exclusive area off of the coast of New York there, and met with Obama and other high-ranking Democrat operatives, and about what could be done or what may happen going forward. And I guess Kamala Harris found out about it, and her name is not mentioned prominently at all in this, and she's not happy. So, Kamala. Oh, what are we going to do? Poor Kamala. So, if they did replace Joe, let's just go down the rabbit hole for a second. We've done a little bit of this in the past, I know, but now we're getting close. We're almost 4 months to the day. So things are going to start happening here, folks. It's going to get real interesting. What do you think? I mean, do you think they would just, bump her up and bring in Newsome as her VP, or what do you?
No, I think they make a deal with her for something else. They give her a spot someplace else, like at court, maybe. I don't know if she'd be able to do anything with the Supreme Court or some kind of high court, give her that type of job.
I was talking to a very successful lawyer, believe it or not, folks, yesterday. I won't name him, but he said that one of the Supreme Court justices is thinking of retiring.
Yeah.
So maybe there is, like you said, maybe there's a little move she could make, and then we can never be rid of her. Kamala will be here till possibly the rest of her life. Anyway.
That's the plan. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Some time ago, them talking about that. What would you do with her? Well, you have to give her a court position. That'd probably shut her, especially a Supreme Court one. She'd sit there for fucking life. And then, whoever, Whitmer, Big Mike, or, Gavin, shove somebody up in that seat.
Right, exactly.
And that's what I think they're going to do. I mean, again, they're going to be able to get away with it because they're going to steal the Democratic nominee or delegate votes just to prop up who they want. Because at this point, I think, I couldn't tell you a Democrat that would have considered running for president if they weren't following behind Biden. If it was like going up against Trump, if Trump was president,
Right.
I don't even know who would actually try to jump up and run.
Well, we know Newsome, whatever you want to call him. We know he's been there the whole time on the side, warming up. Hey, coach, put me in. I'm ready.
The commentary
I'm ready
I've heard from others, they're saying that he has too much baggage. He has too much baggage right now.
Good.
So it would come down to like the whole Whitmer thing, or or Hillary. I've heard Hillary's name even tossed around.
Oh, goddamn! Don't be so dumb. Or then part of me goes, maybe you should be that dumb again. Yeah, I keep hearing Gretchen Whitmer's name more and more. There are some interesting people. I mean, they're not my politics, but Amy Klobuchar is up in Minnesota. I forget what his first name is, but Shapiro, and I think he's governor or something in Pennsylvania. Wes Moore, who was just on ABC News this morning defending Biden. He's from Maryland. These are some other names that are thrown about there, but I kind of see all them, if they get anywhere near there, they would be the VP person. And I keep thinking that top tier there was either going to be Gavin, which is like you say, he's done horrible with California. I mean.
Now, with that being said, yeah, he has a lot of baggage, a lot of bad decisions, but he's also backpedaled a lot to try to fix these mistakes he's made. So, I mean, it could be. And really, when it comes down to it, in any of these like debate types settings, it's never what you did. It's where we are now, right?
Yeah.
We're too stupid to reflect on the past. It's all about now.
Oh, man.
That present news cycle now. So,
yeah.
I mean, it very well could be him. Or at least,
and he's so good looking, and he's so.
The guy's got the charisma. He's got it.
God, he does, man.
I know some people can't stand him, but I think he's high up on that ticket underneath Whitmer right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. Disappointments that did you have any disappointments of the debate? I had a little bit. I mean, like, man, why didn't they bring this up, or why didn't they,
No, it comes down, regardless of who wins at this point in the game, they're not going to fix anything with this country. They're just not. Well, you can fix immigration? Okay, yeah, I get it. We don't want all these people, coming through. We don't know who's who. Worried about terrorism or, deluding of the American people. I think it's a bigger problem, but, it doesn't really come down to it. I think, it's an inconvenience for Americans to actually want real change. It's too inconvenient. No one wants it. I think the issues that need to be talked about aren't talked about. The economy sucks, but guess what? It's never going to change. You can't fix it. No president's going to go in there and wipe out the Fed. No president's going to go on there and create a gold standard and have actual our fiat currency be backed by some. Ghaffadi did it. All kinds of other world leaders, regardless if you think they're bad or good. Do some history, people. These guys in the Middle East and in Africa were taken out because they didn't want to be a part of our dollar because it's so corrupt. They can't control it. Look at BRICS. Why is anyone talking about that? You got major
right.
countries that completely not wanting to mess with our dollar.
That's my big one.
Those are big concerns, but yet it's not talked about. So until you guys talk about that stuff, or even things like.
So the BRIC countries, let me fill everybody in real quick. So the BRIC countries that are trying to leave our dollar, our petrodollar, and how that will negatively affect us here at home, that really should have been addressed. Absolutely, it's too esoteric. People can't think like, no. Well, then you guys the media, you gotta put it right in front of everybody and see what Biden would say and see what Trump would say, and make it important, and then more people ask about it, more people will talk about it, and then more people will learn about it.
Saudi Arabia no longer takes our dollar. That pact is done. They're not. Our dollar doesn't. They don't want our dollar anymore. So what happened? All that oil money, the petrodollar is now gone. It doesn't exist anymore. That has not been talked about. I haven't even seen that in any media outlets. That should be kind of scary, people. Our dollars
it really
taking
should.
Shit.
And if the rest of the world does not want to buy some of our debt, as they have been, and China has been buying less of it, a lot less of it than they have, for example, that's going to really affect our budget problems. And we have these huge budget problems where we can't even have a balanced budget. And again, I blame both parties. This is a long historical thing. This is nothing new. Goofballs like me were concerned about the national debt in 1992 when a little guy named Ross Perot was running. He was just a crazy guy, big ears from Texas. Anyway, you got to look him up sometime. That's when the national debt was approaching $4 trillion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is approaching $34 trillion. Numbers that most of us can't even comprehend. I know a billion is 1,000 million. So it's a trillion, 1,000 billion. I don't know. Anyway, we're going a gazillion, baby, and then it's just all going to pop. And how are we ever going to get inflation under control? It's just. Yeah, I really think our country, but the government and the Federal Reserve, which is not the government, by the way, they've painted themselves in a corner, man.
No, they didn't paint themselves in a corner. They painted us.
Us in a corner, yeah.
Right. if the government has the ability just to print money, nothing bad, they can just print it. Why do we pay taxes?
Yeah.
I mean, really, why?
Yeah.
Just to keep us poor and under control? Like, why? There's no way that our tax revenue in this country from all the citizens has any impact. I'd really like to see the numbers. Like, how much, what, several hundred billion? That's that fucking drop in the water compared to 34 trillion. So why? I mean, that's not even. I don't think our tax money probably covers what we actually spend in the our defense budget. So why are we paying taxes? If it doesn't matter, you guys just print up money to keep the shit going. Why are we paying taxes? Not to mention, not just income tax. Everything you buy is taxed. Everything that you buy was taxed before that so many damn times. Like we literally are just taxed to oblivion, and no one. Again, why isn't that being said?
That's what I'm talking about, folks. We're just a couple knuckleheads. We're just a couple goofballs. We just brought up some really important stuff. Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Very important stuff. I mean, like what you were just talking right there. One of them, Jake Tapper, what was her name? Dana Bash should have said, okay, gentlemen, we have a lot of budgetary concerns in our country, blah, blah, blah. Do either one of you think that there should be more of a heavy audit of the Pentagon? Boom. Yeah, I mean, the only people you ever heard bring that up are people like Rand Paul, one of the few cool people who tries to follow the Constitution, what our country's based on. But
the reason normal people don't talk about it is because we're all stupid.
Then we got this problem.
Well, okay, so my big issue now is you want to fix this country. How about our food? How about our water? How about the shit that's literally fucking poisoning us? How about our healthcare system? These things that are poisoning us. Oh, you want to donate to cancer research? No, I want to donate to why we're getting cancer. I can guarantee you it's coming from our food. How come we're the only country in the fucking world that can put all these dangerous carcinogens and these oils and these super refined shit in our body, and no one gives a shit? Like, no one cares. If you just look at the ingredients list, you understand there's, again, with this whole Chevron thing that passed, I'm hoping this bureaucratic nonsense will help kind of cut this down. But, any food company can put fucking literal insert poison name here. Oh, it's part of our secret sauce recipe, so we don't have to disclose that. So they get away with putting shit in our food that's literally fucking killing us. Like the flour. I've heard so many times, this is anecdotal, but the things I've seen is like, as far as bread. Our bread in our country is so fucking refined, so highly processed, just chemical shit that once you eat it, you feel full, you get gut rot, whatever the case may be. But then if you actually go to Italy or overseas where you eat real food or real bread, you eat that shit all day and it doesn't you don't gain weight, you don't feel the same that you do when you eat the same shit.
But it'll go stale faster, right? Because it's real. And
it blows my mind that people are more concerned about, the orange man said this about that. No, you're fucking stupid because you're eating that orange dye that's in your fucking food. Like, you're eating processed oils and no one gives a shit. Right. And the problem is it's an inconvenience to actually care. It's laziness. It's like that the Wall-E movie, right? They just all sitting on their fat little spaceship, wearing their little robots helping them out, all fucking just disgustingly fat, can't even fucking walk. But they don't give a shit because they got their big gulp and they got their fucking entertainment right there in their face. That's fucking America. I mean, that truly is. And there's other places around the world that don't do that shit. It fucking blows my mind. It truly does. You want to fix this country? How about get fluoride out of the water? Something known, proven to lower IQ. Why don't we get that out of the water? Why don't we stop ingesting all these chemicals? How about our food in general with pesticides and shit? Maybe you guys should look into what DARPA is. Like, look at the scary shit that they created during Vietnam, all these poisons. And you don't think this shit's in our food? You don't think they've made corn where you don't spray any extra pesticides in it because it's already modified to kill the animals and bugs and pests that eat it? It kills it. What do you think it does to you when you ingest this shit? It's slowly fucking killing us. But no one gives a shit. It's an inconvenience to try to do it yourself or fight up against it. It's horrible. Those are real issues, not this fucking, who gives a shit about foreign policy? Fuck those people. Take back our money. Again, the money thing doesn't even matter. Just print more of it. Just fucking print up $1 trillion and give it to Lazinski and just let it fucking happen. Who gives a shit?
He's being sarcastic, folks. He's being sarcastic.
It's nonsense. Let's worry about us, our fucking health, and maybe that would fix this country. I know, and then they're like, but then you're an isolationist. You're an isolationist. Like, oh, come on. And it's not even going to work. I'm not even concerned about myself. I'm more concerned concerned about my kids. What are my kids going to look forward to?
Right.
Again, we're going to have you can any dystopian movie insert here, and that's what they're going to. That's what's going to fucking happen.
Oh my gosh! All right, a couple more things here, and we'll wrap things up. So yeah, I was disappointed that RFK Jr. wasn't in this debate. I've always been that way. In '92, they did let Ross Perot in. That was probably all conspiracy to help George H.W. lose intentionally. And if you've never caught our show, we have talked about this in the past. Go watch some of our past shows. We'll talk about, maybe we can get into it again. But that's one of the craziest of the rigged elections, where the guy who has everything to lose actually wants to lose because he needs to pardon some friends who got in a little trouble with Iran-Contra and pave the way for hopefully W and Jeb. W fulfilled it, 2 terms. Jeb tried, failed so far, but I don't know. Remember, you may see Jeb Bush in a cabinet position for somebody, hopefully not for Trump. But anyway, I went off the track a little bit, but we're doing a little bit of that today. So I was disappointed that RFK Jr. wasn't in there. I've always been whenever the third party people don't let him in, because you don't let people in the debates, then it's like, okay, they have no real chance. But you put them in a debate, most of the time these people would do awesome. They would. I think RFK would have ran circles around, Trump and Biden, and I think after that it would have been just a two-way race between RFK and Trump. But if they don't let him in the debates, I don't know what's going to happen there. Any comment about the VP stakes? There was rumors going around that Trump was going to put out his VP. And his VP is supposed to going to be there in Georgia, somewhere off to the sides, because they didn't have an audience for the debate. Have you heard anything more about that? I haven't heard anything about it.
They're not going to release that until the convention.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump could have been a dick and just had like 50 fucking people show up, and
yeah,
who would have known? I mean, I guess Vance at this point, if they're talking about like Rubio, Hutchinson, and Vance being like
Burgum.
the top 3. Burgum, yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe Bo. I mean, he's a business guy too, but I see a lot of people like Vance. So
I don't know. My cousin Kyle in Kansas, if he's watching, I hope you are, Kyle. He says that Trump really need to go with a woman or somebody of a minority status. He likes Ben Carson.
No, oh my God, Sleepy Ben. No.
He is kind of sleepy.
He's a black version of Pence. No. God, no. I don't think Trump. I don't think Trump's going to play that game with trying to pick a.
Well, I think they would help him though. That's the only thing. I think right now he needs some. I think he's got strong core support, but he needs to get some other independent type people and people from other sides. A lot of African Americans, man, especially African American males. I mean, they've increasingly gone for him, and I think it could happen again.
I don't think the whitest black guy in Congress. I mean, come on. I'm not. It's not a race thing. He's plain. He's a privileged person. So what urban black person is going to look at him and be like, oh yeah, that's my cup of tea.
Well, Ben Carson's got a good story. He if you look into his whole story, Ben's got a good story, but he doesn't have any charisma though. That's true. He's sleepy. He's very sleepy.
Yeah, so
he is. He is a cure for insomnia. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the underdog's Vivek. People still think he's going to come out. And he's going to be.
Sadly, I don't think so. That would be cool.
He'll be a cabinet member, but I don't think he'll.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be awesome if
I'll
it
be
was
pissed if it's Rubio. I do not like him.
I don't care for. I'm with you. But Rubio might help with the Hispanic vote. But I think he's a warmonger. I think he's a neocon. That's why I'll just say that right now about Marco. So I hope I'm wrong. But here's a couple of things. I thought we'd bring up some other people of a little more stature than you and I, but we're catching up with you. Scaramucci, a guy who worked for Trump, then turned on him. He's trying to get a podcast going. He thinks it's going to be RFK Jr., which would be fascinating. RFK Jr. has publicly said, no, I'm not interested in being Donald Trump's running mate.
I would hope RFK has some integrity in not doing that because he's been so opposed to Trump.
So there's that. And then there's a guy who's a little more of a regional guy. His name is Sean Thompson. I mentioned him before. He's on a radio show at WIND from 4 to 7 p.m., 560 a.m. Chicago. He thinks, he's thinking Tulsi Gabbard, which obviously you and I both are fans of hers. I think she could help unite America, and she's everything that Trump isn't, in a lot of ways, younger, female, served in the military, and so many things. I mean, I hope that Sean Thompson's right about that. Charlie Kirk, there's a big name. He's a big dude with Turning Point America, and he's a syndicated radio guy. He thinks it's going to be J.D. Vance. So he's publicly just recently said J.D. Vance.
Yeah, I think that's probably most likely he was going to go. Unless there's some, like you said, some just secret guy that no one's thinking of, a no-name type guy. I mean, who knows? But I think Vance is probably going to be his pick.
Okay. I just, I have fun with this stuff. Some people get bored with this stuff. I think it's very important because Trump's just going to be a one-termer if he is elected. So,
The left would say the opposite. Oh, he'll never leave office. Oh,
yeah, he's never going to leave office. Oh, my God. And then Trump's there. I didn't have to do this. I can be playing golf. So I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. It's all just crazy. The next debate will be in September 10th, I think, maybe. Well, so definitely got some time between now and then. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Trump Biden. I don't know who's going to be there. And just to get nutty for everybody, I'm still sticking to my craziness, and I think Trump is not going to be there either. It's probably going to be Nikki Haley. And versus maybe Gretchen Whitmer or Michelle Obama.
Why do you think Trump will be gone?
I don't know if it's going to be this legal stuff. Maybe it's going to be the legal stuff, and it's just I don't know if they're going to put him in jail.
Even if he's in jail, he can still be president. Nothing's holding him back.
I know, but
and if they put him in jail, you don't think his support's going to grow that much more?
I don't know. I'm just feeling like it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Jeffrey Gundlach talked about 1968. Jeffrey Gundlach, he's again money guy, not really a political guy, but he's made some predictions. He called Trump in 2016. He wasn't a fan, but he called it. He got that one right. I think we're going to see some crazy stuff here, man. I really do. Yeah, I really do.
I think he's going to run.
I think we're going to have two women. It's going to be the Lisa Simpson prophecy of the girl in pearls. Is going to win this. I don't know if it's Gretchen or Nikki or Michelle. I don't know, but it better not be Hillary. No.
I see him running unless they assassinate him. I mean, that's the only way Trump's getting not running.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen. Again, 1968, there were several assassinations. Martin Luther King, RFK. So it was a bad year, a very bad year. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining Logan and I again here on Controversies of the Day with Logan and Jay. Thank you so much. Please hit the subscribe button. Please watch us on not just YouTube, but also Rumble. Please tell a friend and click the like as well. Thank you so much for joining us. I didn't think we were going to be able to go too long today, but what do we got?
It was about 37 minutes.
Oh, okay.